She didn't ask for attention. She didn't dress to impress. She only wanted to quietly support her son, the man about to close one of the biggest business deals in the nation. But what happened at that charity gala would shock every guest and change the course of a $900 million empire. Because when a billionaire white family humiliated a black woman in public, they had no idea who she was or who she had raised until her son stood up and shut everything down. The annual Crestbridge Foundation Gala was more than an event. It was a showcase of wealth, power, and legacy. Every major CEO, investor, and media mogul was there. Among them, Jonathan King, a black tech visionary and the youngest CEO ever to appear on the Forbes 400 list. He had built his company, Civicor, from scratch. No investors, no handouts. Just grit, brilliance, and long nights. That night, he was about to finalize a $900 million merger with the Baldwins, one of the wealthiest white families in the country, owners of a private equity dynasty. Jonathan arrived with just one guest, his mother, Mrs. Elaine King. Elaine wore a simple dress, elegant, clean, understated. She didn't care for diamonds or designer bags. She had once been a school teacher, the kind who gave extra lunches to kids who didn't have any. She smiled kindly at the servers, thanked the valet, and kept to herself in the corner of the ballroom while Jonathan greeted executives. That's when Cynthia Baldwin, wife of the lead partner, approached her. Without asking who she was, Cynthia assumed she was hired help. "Excuse me," she snapped, holding out her empty champagne flute. "We need more drinks over at the Baldwin table." Chop, chop. Elaine blinked. "I'm not staff." Cynthia rolled her eyes. "Well, clearly you're not a guest." Laughter echoed from a few nearby guests. Elaine looked down, nodded politely, and quietly walked away. She didn't make a scene. But someone else saw it all, Jonathan. Jonathan froze. He had just shaken hands with Baldwin's senior partners. The merger papers were on the table. Reporters waited nearby for the announcement. But then he saw his mother, walking slowly toward the exit, eyes down, fingers trembling. He turned to Cynthia Baldwin. "Did you speak to that woman?" She smiled condescendingly. "Just told her to stay in her place." He stepped closer. "That woman is my mother." Silence. The Baldwin stuttered. It was a misunderstanding. Surely she overreacted. But Jonathan didn't hear the rest. He walked straight to the podium where the media waited. Cameras flashed. Microphones leaned forward. Jonathan took the mic. He looked around the crowd, powerful, wealthy, polished, and then said, "Tonight was supposed to mark a milestone, a merger that would create one of the most powerful tech partnerships in America. But power without integrity means nothing." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. He continued, "My mother, a woman who raised me on a teacher's salary, who taught me to respect everyone, was just insulted and humiliated by the very people I was about to do business with." Gasps, shifts in seats. Cynthia's smile faded. "So let me be clear, there will be no deal. Because if you can't respect the people who raised us, you don't deserve to sit at the table we build." Then he walked off the stage. Deal canceled. $900 million. Gone. The media exploded. CEO walks away from $900 million deal after racist incident at gala. Some questioned his judgment. Others praised his courage. But Jonathan didn't flinch. The very next day, he released a statement. "To the Baldwins and anyone like them, your money doesn't buy dignity. To my mother, your love is my legacy. And to every young founder out there watching, never sell your soul for a seat at someone else's table. Build your own." Elaine never sought the spotlight, but it found her anyway. She gave her first interview just days later. "I wasn't upset for me," she said. "I was upset that they still see people like me as invisible. But my son, he made sure I was seen. And I've never been prouder." The world saw it too. Women across the country began sharing their own stories of public disrespect, the ones they quietly endured to keep the peace. Elaine's grace and Jonathan's fire sparked a movement. In the weeks that followed, Civicor stock rose. Despite the canceled merger, new investors came forward. So did new partners, diverse, ethical, forward-thinking. Jonathan announced a new fund, the Elaine Initiative, $50 million dedicated to supporting black-led startups and women entrepreneurs from underserved communities. In his own words, "You tried to humiliate my mother. Now the whole world will know her name." At a later event, a reporter asked Jonathan, "Did you ever consider just finishing the deal, then addressing the incident later?" Jonathan paused. "No, because that's the problem. People think dignity is negotiable. It's not. When my mother was disrespected, I wasn't just a CEO anymore. I was her son. The Baldwins attempted damage control. They issued a public apology. Cynthia claimed she'd been confused and tired, but the public wasn't buying it. Their name trended for the wrong reasons. Major clients pulled out of their firm. One of the senior partners resigned. They underestimated the power of a quiet woman and the fire of the son she raised." Months later, Jonathan and Elaine returned to the Crest Bridge Gala, not as guests, but as honorees. Elaine wore the same dress. Only this time, no one dared question if she belonged. The room gave her a standing ovation. And as Jonathan stepped on stage once again, he looked out at the crowd and said, "You don't have to wear a crown to be royalty. You don't need a last name that opens doors. Sometimes, all you need is a mother who taught you what to walk away from." She didn't raise her voice. She didn't fight back. She didn't call anyone out. She just walked away and raised a son who would never let her be disrespected, not even by billionaires. Because sometimes the most powerful word in business isn't yes, it's no.